Everything is made up and the points don't matter, so let's rank this year in horror. Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Nightmare Maven. Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, it's time to wrap up this year's horror. Just for context, I guess that's important. I decided this month to try and fit in as many new horror movies that I missed this year as possible, and there's still some I plan to watch after this video goes up. After the time of me filming and editing this video, like The Menu, I know for sure I have tickets to go see next week. I'll already have this video done by then. So depending on how much I love that movie or not, my ranking could end up slightly different on Letterboxd versus what you see here. But I don't think it'll change that much, so let's just get into it. Coming in at number 10 is Pearl. Pearl was great fun. It didn't have a lot of substance because it was filmed on the fly while they were making X. It came out after the movie, so we kind of had an idea where the movie was going to go, where the movie was going to end up. So it was kind of just a fun way to kill some time and to enjoy Mia Goth's performance again. She was completely unhinged, and that's why it's in the top 10 for me, because she ate and left not a single solitary crumb. Coming in at number 9 is Fresh. I deservedly got dunked on in my Instagram DMs by a couple of you for literally waiting till the last moment to see this movie this year because it came out in January. Surprisingly, I hadn't had anything spoiled for me though for this movie. I feel like I'm very practiced now at avoiding spoilers on the internet. So I went in genuinely having no idea what this movie was going to be about. And holy shit, was I not expecting what I got. I was so invested in the story and it did not disappoint. Honestly, I think we have a new winner for best cold open in a horror movie to rival the cold open of the Friday the 13th reboot. I had completely forgotten the title card hadn't dropped in Fresh until I think it was like 38 minutes in when it finally drops and my jaw was on the floor. All right, coming in at number 8 is Scream. To be honest, were you expecting me to put this in the number 1 spot simply because it's Scream? Think again. It was okay. It definitely wasn't my favorite in the franchise. And plus we had so much new horror come out this year that I just liked more. Honestly, as I was putting this letterbox list together, Scream just kept moving further and further down on the list, and it was kind of wild to me. I was like, is this okay? Am I allowed to rank this movie this low? But it was okay. I still loved it. The majority of my heart space is taken up by Scream. So it's, I mean, hello. So don't freak out too much, guys. Coming in at number 7 is X. We are here for the aesthetics in this house, and X definitely delivered on the grainy, grindhouse-esque look. Plus, it came at us with some surprises. Ty West is pretty good at that, it seems, now that I'm thinking about a lot of his movies. But he successfully made us so goddamn excited for Maxine. Like, so many of us horror fans are literally foaming at the mouth for Maxine. I cannot wait for it. I feel like that's pretty impressive to just come out with like a kind of a sleeper hit, because they kept the plot and everything kind of on the DL for a long time until like right before this movie came out. So that was impressive. All right, coming in at number 6 is Hellraiser. I know. I feel like this is one of those movies that had us divided this year, but I quite liked this new iteration. I liked that it tried to be its own thing, and I know I'm not a mega fan of the original franchise, I've said this before, but I felt like it was different enough from the OG to like not step on its toes or anything like that. Plus Jamie Clayton, my gods. It's like I finally understood why people really associate Hellraiser with like sexy times, you know? Like the light bulb finally came on for me in that moment. All right, moving into the top 5 here, we have Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I thought this one was so much fun. I thought the performances were great. I laughed out loud the entire movie. I genuinely did not see that ending coming, but I was laughing throughout the entire credits. And I honestly can't wait to rewatch it knowing what happened at the end. I feel like it's gonna be an extra layer of hilarity to everything if you know the ultimate result of the movie. Coming in at number 4 is Watcher. I remember seeing this in the theater with little to no masculine presenting people at all. And that was an experience. Not that everyone was rowdy or loud and carrying on or anything like that, but everybody obviously felt comfortable enough in the theater to make like disapproving noises and kind of audible reactions to things going on in the movie, especially to the awful husband in this movie who just does not believe anything that his wife says. It was kind of nice. It was a nice experience. And the ending, oh my God, I loved it so much. It was so abrupt and satisfying. It was frustrating at times, yes. It'd be frustrating to anybody who has experienced not being believed when you try and tell a man that you feel uncomfortable. This movie kind of provides a catharsis for that. At least it did for me, and I really enjoyed it. Coming in at number 3 is Barbarian. I am still so happy I went into this movie not knowing a thing about it. Truly the best way to watch it for the first time. So many twists and turns. I love that this movie almost like changes its subgenre halfway through the movie in the most jarring way. I don't think that would necessarily work for every movie, but they made it work for this one. The tone completely shifts and throws you for a loop. It just worked for this movie. Like, I had a great time instead of being confused. Something sprinkled some magic dust on this movie. I don't know what happened. If you still haven't seen it and you're like me and you're pretty adept at like not having things spoiled for you and avoiding things, go watch the movie. Watch it as soon as you can before something gets ruined for you on it, because it's the best way to watch it. Right, in the number 2 spot is Nope. I'm gonna be interested watching everybody else's channel and seeing their list this year and seeing if Nope ends up on it. I feel like there was a little bit of a discussion within the horror community as to whether this was a horror movie or not, you know, one of those debates. And I guess it could or could not end up on some people's list depending on how heavily they weighed the horror elements in the movie. And obviously compared to Get Out and Us, it's the least like horror-esque out of the bunch for sure. But for me, the horror elements were strong enough. This was definitely an event and I loved every second of it. It was big, it was epic. I'm still so glad I opted to see this one on like that like holy shit big Dolby screen at AMC. Like it's like a splurge for me, but it just felt like Nope had to be seen on that screen and it was amazing. Totally fucking worth it, and I have to put it on the list because it was really like movie magic in a movie. Why do people subscribe to this channel? I have no idea I had a film studies degree the way I talk about movies sometimes. What I was trying to convey is that because the movie was so big and epic and magical, it kind of reinvigorated the magic of movies for me, like going to the movies and seeing like a spectacle, because that's like the point of the whole movie. That's what I was trying to say. Coming in at the number 1 spot, my favorite movie that I watched this year is Prey. Who'da thunk? Because I have never even seen a Predator movie all the way through, with the exception of Alien vs. Predator. And goddamn was this movie a blast. I feel like action horror in its own right is always a really fun combination, and it fits the Predator so well because they're so fucking scary and so difficult to outsmart, which makes them scarier. But you can't help but stand up and cheer for Naru when she kicks the Predator's ass at the end. And the amount of times I've rewatched just that last fight scene, it's a little embarrassing. And shame on me for sleeping on this movie a little bit. I didn't wait to the last minute to see this. It's not like I watched it this month, but it was a couple of weeks out before I watched it, because I'd never seen any Predator movies, so I didn't I didn't rush out to go see this. But I think it took a lot of other people by surprise too, because everyone was gushing about it, and that's what got me to be like, okay, well maybe I'll just sit down and watch this. And it ended up being the best movie of the year for me. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 movies of the year. But my Letterboxd list will be live if you want to check out what I ranked everything else, because that was just the top 10. If you follow the link tree in my bio, you can find my Letterboxd and find my ranking list there. And you can also find lists that I've done for years past also and see how I ranked horror the past couple of years. Share your top 10, top 5 horror movies of the year in the comments. Or if you also made a list for this year's horror movies, drop your Letterboxd username in the comments so we can all follow you and check out your list also. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a creepy peep today. I post 2 videos every week, always horror all the time. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.